Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be presenting about navigation using a star with my friend Owen. So, what is stars? So, in the present time, we all know what stars are. They are large luminous sphere consisting of gas, mainly hydrogen and helium. These stars shine brightly because of the process of nuclear fission. This happens when hydrogen atoms are converted to helium, releasing a lot of energy in the form of light, thus allowing them to grow at such long distance. However, in the ancient times, people have yet to discover this stuff because they lack the understanding and technology. Without tools such as telescope, they could only observe the star with their naked eye and can only speculate about stars. So, in the ancient Greeks, they believed that stars are not just light or physical object, but sentient divine being, and according to them, stars represent soul of individual or heroes that perform great deeds or act of virtue during their lifetime, and as a reward, they are granted a place in the heavens, immortalized as shining point of light in the night sky. And nowadays, those constellations are recognized by us as heroes of stories such as Hercules or Orion. In the Pi tribe, according to them, they believe that stars are like children of the father sun and the mother of moon. And every time sun rises, the powerful light consumes those stars, causing them to disappear from the sky. But whenever nightfall occurs, the gentle love and nurturing presence of the moon will reborn the star, returning them to shine in the darkness. In the ancient Chinese, they believe that stars are living beings with emotions. One of the famous legends is Xinu and Niulang, a Sastal maiden and a herdsman who love each other, symbolizing devotion and longing. However, the gods divide the love, which causes them se- to separate them, and every 7 lunar months a bridge is formed, allowing them to reunite for a single night. And now this event is called the Chinese Valentine's Day. In the Yakut tribe, they believe that stars are not just distant lights but tools used by the gods themselves, and they believe that the stars are crystallines placed in the night sky by the gods, serving as a watchful eye to oversee the world below. This lens allowed the gods to observe human action, ensuring that balance and harmony are maintained in Earth. And Torque people, they believe that the sky are tents that cover the world, and those stars are rips of on the tents.
Hi, my name's Owen and I'll take it from here. Okay, so after we know what ancient civilization taught about the stars, let's get to the main bread and butter of this topic, which is how we can use the stars to navigate voyages in an era where compasses and modern seafaring technologies did not exist yet. Okay, so first of all, we have to know where we are currently in the world. Are we in the northern hemisphere, near the equator, or on the southern hemisphere? Because these methods that I'm going to talk about will only work depending on which part of the world you are. This is because, as we know now, the Earth is moving, so some stars in the sky will become blocked by the Earth itself, and thus we cannot use it for navigation. With all that being said, let's first go to the northern hemisphere. Okay, so the most reliable way to find the north is by using Polaris, the true north, which basically means that it will never move from its position in the sky from our point of view down on the northern side of Earth. To do this, it's pretty simple. First, we need to find the Big Dipper or Ursa Major constellation, which looks like this. It almost looks like a bear, so that's why it's called Ursa Major and Minor, as Ursa means bear in Latin. You'll find this trend quite a lot during the naming of star constellations because it is used everywhere in astronomy. And once you find the Big Dipper, we can use the star Dubhe and Merak located at the bowl end of the Big Dipper and draw an imaginary line upwards to find Ursa Minor. Once we find Ursa Minor, we simply need to follow the constellation to its tail end, and that's where you'll find Polaris, the true north. Then we can just simply sail towards the direction to go north. Now, for the south, first we need to find a constellation called Orion, which looks like a man with weapons wearing a sword belt, like on this picture right here. Then we simply look at his belt, which consists of three stars, which are Mintaka, Al Nilam, and Al Nitak. Then we go straight down from Al Nilam to find his sword. Once we're at the sword, draw an imaginary line downwards towards the horizon, and that is the south. Well, it's not like super accurate, but that is roughly where the south is. Now, for the southern hemisphere, it's hard to find which way is north because Polaris is blocked. And as of currently, we have not yet found a more reliable way to find the north without using compasses. So we'll just have to skip over it and jump right into how to find the south, which we can do simply by using the crux or the southern cross. First, we need to find it. Okay, so first we need to find it first, of course, which is harder said than done because literally any sets of four stars in the sky can be a cross shape. But there are a few pointers on which one is the southern cross. First one being there's always an extra Belamis star near it, which is this one right here. Second, there's always two pointer stars nearby, which you can see here. After we confirm the crux and the pointer star's position in the sky, we can draw an imaginary line directly from the bottom side of the crux and another line perpendicular to the pointer stars. The intersection between these two imaginary lines is roughly where the south is at. Moving on. So, what if we live near the equator, or should I say celestial equator? Now, because we're basically on the middle of the Earth, we can find directions of east and west quite easily. To do this, we simply must find Orion again, and then look at the first star on his belt called Mintaka. And we just need to observe it, and whenever Mintaka rises, that is true east, and whenever Mintaka sets, that's true west, and yeah, that's about it. Now, all of these methods like doesn't work universally, right? But now I'm going to teach you the easiest way to orient yourself using the stars, and this trick will work anywhere in the world. All you need is literally just two sticks. Introducing the two-stick method. First, you need to plant them into the ground roughly 1 meter apart, like this, and then you need to align yourself in a way that the two sticks merge together into one stick with a star of our choosing directly on top of it, all right? I recommend brighter stars as you can see it more easily. Then, we simply need to wait for the stars to move. If the stars roses upwards, that means that direction is the east. If it sank downwards, that is the west. And if it moves to the left, that's the north. If it moves to the right, then that's the south. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's very simple method, right? Okay, so now I'm going to tell you other less popular ways to navigate using the stars. The first one is by using circumpolar stars, which are stars that never sets below the horizon and rotates around the celestial pole. So you can always see it depending on your current region of the world. Meaning that if from your perspective you see it rising, then you're most likely facing the east, and if it's descending, then you're facing the west. Now, we already knew about Polaris, the true north, in the northern hemisphere, but did you know that in the southern hemisphere, we have something similar called Sigma Octanis or Polaris Australis? And as the name suggests, you can actually see it during the nighttime at modern day Australia. This is the picture right here. Next up, we have the Summer Triangle. In the northern hemisphere during the summer season, the stars Altair, Vega, and Deneb forms a triangle, and we can estimate general directions with the help of these stars. Altair will rise in the east and sets in the west, and Vega will rise in the northeast and set in the northwest. So in order to go to that general direction, we can just follow those two stars inside the triangle. Next up, we have the Polynesian star compass. So during their era, Polynesian navigators memorized the rising and setting points of all 32 key stars, and each of these stars correspond to a directional house. For example, Arcturus leads to northeast, Sirius leads to east or southeast, and etc. By tracking which stars move, they can maintain course without needing proper instruments like modern technological instruments. Then we have the Square of Pegasus. So the four bright stars that made up the Great Square of Pegasus rises in the east and sets in the west. By tracking the movements of these four stars, we can somewhat gauge an accurate estimate of where east and west are. So yeah, pretty simple. Now, continuing on the civilization tree, we have Egyptians and Vikings. For the ancient Egyptians, they used the star Sirius, which rose with the sun before the Nile flood. Its heliacal rising also marked the solar year and helped align structures. And as for the Vikings, they used a tool called the sunstone, which is made of calcite crystals to locate the sun on cloudy days for sea navigation. This also works at night by using Polaris and other stars visible on the North Atlantic Ocean. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.